Do you wish there was a reliable way to have AI answer a whole bunch of your customer service requests, up to 70% of them? So your human agents have less work to do. They can focus more of their effort on the harder cases and give better results to those customers, and the easy tasks are handled with AI. If that sounds like something that'll help your business, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you how to use Lyro AI, which is Tidio's new AI agent that is going to conversationally help up to 70% of your customers and solve their customer service inquiries without ever going to a human agent. I'm going to show you how to set it up and how it all works in this video. Hi, I'm Bjorn from WPLearningLab. Now let's get started. Diving right in, here we are in the Tidio dashboard. I'm going to show you later how to set up your own Tidio account and how to get a big discount through the link in the description down below. But first, I'm going to show you how powerful Lyro is and why you're going to want to have it. So we see right away that Lyro is all over the place. We haven't set it up yet, but here we have Lyro AI Agent. Here you have more info about Lyro. It can answer up to 70% of customer inquiries according to Tidio. And if you're not familiar with Tidio, they're one of the most established customer service platforms out there. Live chat, email support tickets, omni-channel support, and now Lyro AI chat agents. They cover all the bases for customer support. So if they say you can answer up to 70% of customer inquiries, I feel like they'd be pulling that from their own data. Anonymized data, of course, but they can probably see how many inquiries are being solved by the AI agent, how many have to go to humans afterwards if it's more complicated. So this number is probably pretty accurate. And here it also goes on to say, while traditional teams have an average response time of 2 minutes, Lyro answers questions in under 6 seconds. That equals very happy customers, especially for this 70% that just had their questions answered in a few seconds. It's pretty awesome. So here we have Lyro Agent again. And again, clearly it's all throughout the entire platform now because it's so powerful. Let's set it up. Over here on the left-hand side, we have our Lyro agent. Click on Set Up Lyro. The very first thing you want to do is create your knowledge base. This is where Lyro is going to pull its answers from. Ideally, your company is going to have an FAQ page, maybe a return policy page, a shipping policy page. That's the kind of stuff you want to add to Lyro. It will learn that information, just like if you were to send it to ChatGPT, it's going to learn it and understand it, and then it will reply to your customers conversationally with that information. It won't just be copy and paste. It's going to actually learn what you put in the knowledge base and then use that to help your customers. I'm going to click on Add Knowledge. You can add a website URL. It will scrape your website and find all the important information. Hopefully all the information on your site is important. It probably is. And then it's going to base its answers based on what's on your website. You can also add questions and answers manually. To show you really quick what I mean, you add a question here. This is something a customer might ask, and an answer you might want to give. This is super helpful for when you start running your Lyro agent and starts encountering questions it doesn't know the answer to, so it transfers your customers to human support staff. If there's questions that recur, you could add them here. Add the question and add the answer. It's going to read it and try to understand what it means. And so it's going to apply this information wherever it can to reduce how many times your customers are sent to live agents. Let's go back to the hub and click on Add Knowledge again. We can also import Q&As from a CSV file, which is basically an Excel file or a Google Sheets file. You probably have a questions column and an answers column, then you save it as a CSV and upload it here. You can also import Zendesk articles if you use Zendesk. I'm going to add a website URL. You can choose to scan priority pages. This means that Lyro is going to scan frequently asked questions or FAQs, refund policies, delivery options, things like that. Or you can also scan a single page over here. What I'm going to do is use this sunrise alarm clock as an example. And they have very limited FAQs on this page. But down here, they have customer support and product FAQ, orders and payments, delivery and returns, 45-day trial, warranty. They have a bunch of information that people might want to ask about. And I'm going to just add this URL, copy that, and I'm going to use this first option, paste that in, and we're going to see how much information can be pulled in. Click on Import Knowledge. When we ask it questions, I'll try to ask questions about these different categories to see if it pulls in that information. If not, we can always add more data. The more data you add, the better it is. So these are all the pages that it's scanning. Here's the warranty page, delivery and returns page. It also pulled in a bunch of product pages, although it's support/product. So maybe it's like a support guide or help guide for that product. not the actual product listing where you can buy. And once you have these green check marks, those pages have been scanned and they're ready to use by your chatbot. It goes that fast. Just a couple more to go. Just these two, and they're done. And if it missed some pages that you want to include, because remember it scans what it thinks are the top priority pages, but if it missed something you think it should have, click on add and add more stuff here. Add another website URL, scan a single page and have a specific page you want to make sure is in there. Let's make sure the pages we want are in there. Also wanted to have this 45-day trial page. So let's just add that in. Add that right there. Website URL, scan single page, paste that in. You can also add multiple pages. Just going to stick with this one. Click on import knowledge. Bob's your uncle. Our Lyro AI agent is trained. We can test it right now. Click on test Lyro. I recommend you test it before you click on activate. Although when you click activate, it won't actually be on your website yet. We have to configure that as well, but testing it first is probably a good idea. So here we have our Lyro agent. We can start talking to it. Hi, hello, how can I help you? What is your return policy? And it's going to go through the database of knowledge it now has from the pages it scraped, and it's going to offer that information here. We offer a 45-day trial period, which was that very last page that we added. And it has relevant links to places as well. Let's open these up, see where they go. Delivery and returns, buy directly, 45-day trial. Those pages are quite relevant for what we wanted here. And it says here, AI response based on your data sources, review sources. This is not something that your customers will see, but this is what you see. So let's open those sources, opens them on the right. So it shows which pages specifically it pulled that information from. And it went through 5 pages, 6 pages for this one answer. Where do you ship? I don't know where Lumi ships. I imagine worldwide, but we'll see what Lyro says. We deliver to the UK, European countries. No, we don't deliver to Channel Islands or Manavile. Oh. Do you deliver to North America? I noticed that was really only Europe that was on that list. So it says, I'm afraid I don't have enough information. So maybe they don't deliver to North America. We're going to confirm that in a minute. But first, I want to show you what happens if Lyro doesn't know the answer to a question. Quite often, this button pops up. Well, first it admits I don't know the answer, which ChatGPT doesn't do, I've noticed. It always has an answer for everything. It never says I don't know, which is something I don't like. How can I know everything about everything? Anyway, that's not what this video is about. Lyro says I don't know the answer. Then you can click on talk to a person. It's going to take you or connect you to your support staff, your live human support staff. And it also has this note here for you, the admin, that we didn't find an answer to this question. We click on create answer. And this is the Q&A option I showed you earlier, where you add a question and then you add an answer. I'm going to write sorry, not at this time for this. And we're going to re-ask this question to see if to show you that the answer is not copy and pasted. Let's just try this again. Do you deliver to North America? Let's see what the answer is now. No, we don't deliver to North America at this time. So what I wrote in the answer was, sorry, we don't at this time. So it understood that, updated the answer to be a little more conversational, and added an emoji. I don't know if that's my favorite emoji for that, but that's okay. So that option to talk to a person is now gone because we kept talking to this. But let's say we want to talk to a person now. I'm going to ask it if it can connect me to a support agent. And it should say, sure, here's a link. Transferring you right away. Okay, no link at all, actually. So this would now transfer me into here. Let's control click to open that. Let's see if that chat's been added. Is this the test chat? So I don't know if it would be. So there's a lot going on here. I've used this for previous tutorials as well, so that's why there's information here. Under Lyro AI Agent, if we click on that with this activate link to actually activate, because we're just in test mode, so don't worry about that right now. We have the conversation that we're having right now. And here's where I ask, can you connect me to a support agent? And it transferred me over to here. I can then click on join conversation as the human being and say, hi, what up? I wouldn't actually reply that way in real life, just so you know, but I would say something like, I'm just going to quickly read through this conversation so I'm up to speed on what the issue is, and I'll be right back. And then I'll read through it, and then I'll start asking questions, answering questions based on the context I learned when I read this. That's super handy though, right? like all this was done by AI. And now we come in, we swoop in as the superhero customer support agents and just solve the last little bit. And that stat saying 70% of inquiries were solved by Lyro, that takes a lot off our plate. But even this takes off our plate. This was not solved by Lyro. This would be part of that 30% that Lyro AI couldn't solve. But look how much Lyro's done already, that we don't have to ask. We don't have to wait for a customer to respond. They don't have to wait for us to respond. We already know the context of the conversation. And I feel like that makes the 30% that live support has to do so much more easy and faster. So not only do you save that 70%, but I think that 30% that live support is doing is way faster than normally would be. And throughout this conversation, me as the support agent, I can see prompts. This is only for me. This is not for the customer. The customer doesn't see this. So if I'm happy with this answer, I say, yeah, that's correct. Give that a thumbs up. Give that a thumbs up. And this is the one where we created an answer earlier. And this is the answer we created. But let's just say that was wrong. We could click the thumbs down and it gives us some options. Your feedback will help us train Lyro. It's not relevant to the question, it's too general, not factually correct, dissatisfactory tone, or other. I'm not going to choose one of these in this case because it is the correct answer. I'll just go to cancel. Anytime Lyro gives an answer, you can click on review sources. We saw that earlier. And that's all the Lyro chat flow in the middle. On the right-hand side, we have all kinds of information about this individual. We even have information about pages they viewed on the website, notes, if they're recurring customers. And as you get to know this person, as they contact customer support more often, you'll probably fill in their email address, maybe their phone number, their name, because then they're actually a customer. They're a part of your business. And there's also satisfaction survey scores down here. Now let's install Lyro on a website so you can see how that works. So you can install it on one of your websites or all of them and start interacting with your customers, or having Lyro do it for you and then just pick up the slack on the ones that Lyro needs help with. To get to the Lyro dashboard, just click on this little robot icon. On mine, it has a call to action to install the chat widget. If you don't see that, head over to configure. You can install it from here as well. Beside live chat, we see install chat widget. Click on that. Give yourself a name. This would be the name for the customer service agent. AI Bjorn would be the name for me. You can pick a color. There's some presets here. You can also pick a specific color that's specific to your brand. You can change that in the settings later as well. Click on continue. You can do a manual install. You can also install more automatically on Shopify, WordPress, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, Adobe Commerce, and PrestaShop. We're going to do WordPress, so let's follow these steps. Log into your WordPress account, go to the dashboard, navigate to plugins, select add new, type Tidio into the search bar, install and activate, and then log in with your Tidio email and password. And then choose the project you want to integrate. Sounds easy enough. Let's head into the WordPress dashboard of this site. Let's go to the plugins and let's add a plugin. Search for Tidio. This is the one we want right over here. Click on install now. If you're installing this on a live site, you might want to back up your site first just in case something goes wrong. It's pretty rare these days, but if something does go wrong, it's great to have a backup. There's a link in the description if you need help with that. Click on activate to activate the Tidio plugin. And here you can either create a free Tidio account if you don't have one yet, or click on login to sign into your Tidio account. I have multiple, so I got to make sure I'm signing into the correct one. Then click on login. Then we have to choose the project. I currently only have one. Make sure you pick the correct one for your website. Click on integrate, select the project, and that should be all we have to do. Since we have WooCommerce installed, let's also integrate WooCommerce. Why not? Approve. If you click on Open Tidio panel, that takes you back into your Tidio account, just like over here. Takes you to a specific spot. Takes you to right here, because this is where everything is managed. You don't manage your chats or anything from inside WordPress. It all goes back to your Tidio dashboard. But now that we have the plugin installed and our project added, we should be able to go to the front end of the website and see a fancy little chat widget. There it is. Hi there. Welcome to our website. Ask us anything. Chat with us. Okay. And this will be connected to the Lumi website that we set up with the Lyro agent. So it's not specific to plumbing because the other website wasn't actually ours. So we didn't train it on that. But you can easily retrain
for any website you're putting it on if you're moving it around. Or better yet, just create a new project. Go down here, hover over a current project, click on create a new project, and then you can have a different Lyro agent trained for every one of your different websites. Super handy. So bear in mind, the answers it gives us here are going to be in regards to what we trained it on, which was that Lumi website. What types of lights do you sell? Lyro is typing. Let's see if we can figure this out. We offer 3 main types of lights: wake up lights, sad, and energy lights. Bed bug for kids. Must be not an actual bed bug, but a light they call a bed bug. And then there's links to read more. And these will go to the Lumi website because that's what it was trained on. And that's how easy it is. You train Lyro, it's all set up and ready to go. And this chat, of course, is again going to be inside of your dashboard here. If we go to Lyro Agent, we see this right here. And then you have this little blue box here that you don't see on the front end. Your visitor does not see that, but you do. And you can say, correct answer. And that gives feedback to Lyro saying, great job, that's correct. If someone asks something like that again, give the same answer or incorrect answer. And you can also review the sources. So that's pretty darn handy. So I did something you might find useful. I installed Tidio on the WPLearningLab website right here. You can see it right over here on the right. And I've been doing some test conversations with Tidio in a live environment. And here's what's pretty neat. For one of the tests, if we go to our inbox and then go to Lyro Agent, it asked me here for this one if I wanted to talk to a real person because I couldn't answer the question, or because Lyro couldn't answer the question. The question was, can you tell me which blog post is the most popular on this site? And it said, I'm afraid I don't have enough information for that. Okay, can you send me a link to the most recent blog post? No, can't do that either. And then it kept popping up that little button saying, do you want to talk to a real person? I clicked the button and then it sent me over to here to talk to a real person. And then I can join this conversation as we saw earlier in the video. Something else that stands out, if we go to the Lyro tab, this knowledge box here. It says, currently you're doing well, your knowledge score is under control, but a few gaps exist. Take a moment to fill in the questions that still need answers. A moment ago, I was not doing so well. As Lyro answers or doesn't answer questions, this bar here changes. If you're in the red, you've got a lot of work to do in your knowledge base, or your customers are asking questions that are way off base. If you're in the orange, you're still have work to do, but you're okay. Blue, you're under control, and I assume green would be fantastic. And that's really useful, having that little dashboard there. We have resolution rate statistics. We have suggestions down here. There's 2 questions to review. Actions we have to take. So let's do that. Let's go to review suggestions. Where can I find the latest blog post? This would be something that would be hard to do. You know what? No, it wouldn't. You could just answer this by saying, just go to the top of the blog post page and you'll find the latest blog post. So I said, you'll find the latest blog post at the top of the blog post page. And I gave a link. Save that. Now the next time someone asks that question, it's going to give a better answer. How can I find out which blog post is the most popular on the website? This one might be a bit harder because that might change over time. You can manually add the most popular one at this time, but I don't think that Lyro can tap into, say, a plugin on WordPress that tracks post popularity and then give that data. However, if you had a plugin like that and it created a separate page that had listed all the most popular posts, you could just link to that page in response to this question. So I'm just going to leave that as is because I don't have either of those things in place. Go back to the hub for Lyro. So we still have 1 question to review, and that's accurate. And we're starting to collect customer data. Not really customers, but people who have interacted with us through the live chat. And this is them right here. And you can start chatting with them directly. If they come back tomorrow, you can see that they're online on your site if they have cookies enabled. And then you can just click on Start Chat and it'll start a chat with them. That's pretty neat. And also kind of creepy that can follow you around like that. People don't like that these days, but it's still a possibility for you to do that. And if a customer actually wants to hear from you, then this is super powerful. But then the ones who don't want to hear from you, they kind of get annoyed. And you see up in the top right here, this account is on the 7-day full-featured free trial. I encourage you to hook yourself up with the 7-day free trial, to try Tidio, to see what it can do for you, because it could be a game changer for your business. At the end of this video, I'll show you how to get your own free account and even the pricing plans if you want to upgrade right away. That'll be at the end of the video. Next, going to dive into more advanced settings for the Lyro agent so you can customize it exactly as you need it for your website and for your business. Let's activate Lyro. This is taking us to our Lyro Chat Agent tab under the Configure tab, and we can activate it here. We can choose Lyro responding always or only when agents are offline. That's a pretty neat feature. So if your support staff works 8 hours a day in a certain time zone, you can have it be that when they're all logged off, Lyro takes over. I'm going to have, as always, response. The channels available for Lyro are live chat, which should be a widget on your website. Click on Install Widget to add it to your website. You can also have Lyro conversing with your customers on Facebook Messenger, on Instagram, and WhatsApp. And email. To use the email, you have to activate Lyro first. Let's scroll down a little more. You can choose different languages. Supported languages are listed here. You can read through those. And customer satisfaction. Satisfaction surveys are enabled for live chat and for tickets. So when a chat ends, people can rate their experience. And we can also configure its personality. We can give it a different name, only in the Plus plan though. You can add a company description here. The more thorough the description is, the better Lyro is going to respond with the correct personality and tone for your brand. So make sure you fill this out properly. You can also use emojis or not. Tone of voice. Neutral, friendly, formal. I choose friendly in most cases. But if you were a law office, maybe you want to choose formal. Read more links. We saw some of those in the chat. I find those pretty valuable personally, but maybe you don't for your customers. Turn that off right there. We have predefined answers. When I asked to be transferred to a human, it understood what I wanted. It understood it needed to tell me a variation of this right here. I feel like it did that exactly. Absolutely, I'm transferring you to a human right away. Let's see, I feel like that was copy and paste. Doesn't mean it'll be copy and paste every time. Yeah, it's the exact same sentence, but that's okay. These pre-filled options are pretty good for those. For the handoff, we can choose to hand off when agents are online, transfer conversation to agent, or keep the conversation no transfer to agent, or create a ticket. When agents are offline, we have those same options. You can also use handoff audiences. That means if Lyro thinks that the customer fits a certain profile, like maybe they're asking about board shorts, and your company sells skateboards, board shorts, shoes, all those kind of things, and you have support specific to each one of those categories or departments, Lyro can identify that and send them to the proper place, which is pretty handy. And that's really all there is for configuration and how you use Lyro. How we used it in the test is how you'd use it on a live website, how your customers would use it. And the most important part is if you find that Lyro is lacking in knowledge, you can just add more knowledge. You can add data sources. You can add products if you have an e-commerce store. On the suggestions tab, you can complete suggested questions to help Lyro handle similar inquiries. And the better you train Lyro, the more customer support inquiries it will take off of your live support's plate. And this is an ongoing project. And then as Lyro handles more and more support tickets, you'll be able to refine the knowledge in here and make it so it can handle maybe more than 70% of your inquiries. Who knows? So if you click the link in the description down below, it's going to take you to Tidio. And here we see at the very front, Lyro AI Agent. You don't have to pick anything specifically or any product specifically because it all comes in your account depending which plan you choose. And via the coupon code Tidio WPLL, you get a 20% discount off of any plan for the first year. And when you choose any one of these plans by clicking on it and then going to start for free, you create a free account. And then when you upgrade, you can enter the coupon code Tidio WPLL for WPLearningLab. And that will give you 20% off the first year, which is pretty awesome considering this is going to help you a lot in your business. I hope you got value from this video. If you did, let me know by clicking like and subscribe, and also check out this video on the screen right now, which is all about speeding up your website. Having great customer support is awesome, but having a fast website and great customer support is even more awesome. So check out that video and I'll see you there.